Oh, that's gone. Okay.
Is this recording, Pete? Oh yeah, it says it up there.
I hope so. I don't know what I'm doing.
Welcome to
It's my first time.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't speak English.
Peter Kapara of pTree's
Testing.
Workshop. You can find us all, as well as the podcast on Instagram.
I'm still
and YouTube.
Are we
testing.
You're testing. Wait, it's not recording. Welcome to episode 35 of another Woodshop podcast, now with free pre-shows.
Hey, that's true. We made
By
that decision
accident.
tonight.
That was totally planned.
We're marketing
surprise.
geniuses.
Yes, our pre-show was live to the world, and we got swarmed with just over a dozen people in it. It was amazing.
A
It was
baker's
incredible.
dozen.
A maker's dozen. A maker's
dozen. Which is 11.
Show title.
Show title. We were just talking about.
I
how we
told you
don't
I
have
would think of it.
A maker's dozen.
God, and you know what? That one sticks. It sticks well, and it can't be beat. And with that, I'm gonna throw it over to Mike.
Well, hold on. I just want to point out that Dan said, I told you I'd come up with a name, and we are the ones who said Baker's Dozen. Freaking man, I hate Dan. Anyway,
Sticky show title can't be beat. I'll send it over to Mike.
hey, this episode is brought to us by a new sponsor. I don't know why I'm talking like this, so I'm going to stop. But seriously, this episode's brought to us by StickerBeat. That's pretty cool. I've been working with StickerBeat for, most of this year. They've been really great to me. And now they're really great to the pod, and they're really supportive of the community and really great. We really like them. Obviously, we all know stickers are a big part of this community. Who knew that would be such a big thing in a woodworking adult area? But it is. No, but yeah, we got them on board, and we're really stoked to have them on board. Me, Dan, and Pete all have promo codes now, and mine's Coffey. Dan's is DDWW, which is Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, and Pete's is pTree, pTree. All those get you 20% off at StickerBeat moving forward.
Coffee
Until
with an
they decide-
EY.
Yeah, EY, not with the drink.
It's not working, Mike.
I've actually had that happen a lot. But yeah, we really want to say a big thank you to StickerBeat. They jumped on board, and we're really happy to be working with them. And, a lot of us use stickers. I use them for a lot of different things, actually. I use StickerBeat for several different things, a lot of marketing things. I have them pre-print all my my envelope stickers with my address on there. And I usually try to throw stickers and promotional stuff in with any of my orders, and I get all that from them. So I want to say a big thank you to them. Also, something I want to mention is that they get free shipping with all orders, and all their stickers use 3M vinyl and adhesives. So that's a big thing. And they can do custom orders. So
Yeah.
I've used them.
I asked them for a big giant sticker to put on my garage door, and they sent me a 24 by 24 sticker that I put up on my garage door for my sticker wall.
And we've got a bunch of AWP stickers coming in from them, and we'll be getting those out to the patrons who are owed those. And speaking of patrons, Pete, why don't you tell us about Patreon?
Oh, Patreon, what an amazing site. It's where you, as a patron, a regular person, can become a patron and help support our show.
Sales pitch.
Huge shout out to all of our patrons.
Yes.
We would not be able to do what we're doing right now. We would not be able to do the stickers, the shirts, all that, if it wasn't for you guys. It really
true.
Means a lot to us. It helps us keep this going, keep putting out new things. We just started YouTube lives, and we put it behind a paywall, and it was kind of a jerk move. And today I made the executive decision to just open everyone.
Oh my God.
And then I played it off as if it was a mistake. And the guys are on board. Lucky me. Yeah. So what started out as a little mistake ended up being that we're opening up our lives to everyone. But it started out as a Patreon thing, and it wouldn't be a thing unless we had patrons.
Technically, the first one was open to everyone.
Shut your face.
Then we moved it to 10. And then you messed up, and now it's open to everyone again.
Happy little accidents.
Happy accidents.
Just painting little clouds.
Painting little happiness.
Happy little accidents. But if you do want to continue to support us, check us out on Patreon. There's some great content, some nice benefits, including dance stickers, very special stuff. You can get a t-shirt from AWP, which is awesome. And if you don't want to support us on Patreon, that's okay too. But we'd love it if you did. helps us grow and helps us provide awesome content and a lot of behind the scenes stuff for you guys.
Well,
And
there's more ways to support us besides patron too. I mean, you could, besides being a patron, you can share the show or support our sponsors. So that's another way to support us too. So there's a lot of ways to do that. And just listening is plenty.
Absolutely.
So we know not everyone has expendable
the
cash.
podcast
so we
with others.
appreciate
That's probably the best way you can support us. Now, Mike, do we have any new patrons this week?
We do.
We do.
I'm proud to announce that we have Michael Meeks, Henry Gonsalves, Tyler Haley, and Not My Day Job. So huge thank you to them. We really do appreciate it very much.
Not My Day Job is new as of the pre-show live that we just did.
Yeah.
And he's how we figured out that we flubbed.
Yeah.
Right.
You're welcome, guys.
How did you get in here?
Outsider.
Shut it down.
That worked out. Yeah, shut this thing down. No, it was it worked out for the best. So I'm glad we're moving that to open up for everyone. So
We're already thinking about it, and this is just the nudge we needed.
First time
So
it's
that's
come
great.
up. Pete's lying. I'm just joking.
Speaking of lying, hey guys, what's on the bench? Let's all sound like we're busy.
I built
Dan,
a
what's
Statue
going on?
of Liberty.
Dan, what do you got going on?
I built a
Wait,
Statue
hold on.
of Liberty.
What's the segment we're in? Go ahead, Dan.
You usually yell at me when I sing it, so I just
We all just
pause
paused for Mike to edit that in.
Yes. Thank you. Very professional.
I need to build the third barn door for that one client, my neighbor. But I'm waiting on the hardware to get here from China.
When will you be starting the barn that's going to go around them?
Oh, probably sometime in 2024.
You're basically just building drawer fronts.
Right.
So I'm waiting for the hardware to get in from China, and
China.
I'm not gonna
China hardware.
start on the actual door until that hardware gets here because I want to make sure everything's right.
It's a good idea.
Excuse me. Right?
Yeah.
So I needed something to build this week because I was really missing my shop. I've been spending a lot of time in front of my computer doing photography stuff.
Boo.
So yeah, so I just went out there on, I want to say like Tuesday, and just whipped together like a box, and I threw it under my table saw, and I was like, this could be a cabinet. So I started making a cabinet for my table saw to go under the wing, and it came out pretty nice. I put solid curly cherry fronts on it. I put some walnut edge banding around it. It's a nice little table saw cabinet. I'm really proud of it. And I really should have made that a YouTube video.
Yeah, you screwed up.
I screwed the peach on that.
You screwed the
Pooch?
Yeah.
Peach?
Screwed the peach.
Screwed the peach.
You just Dunlapped that saying.
If you use a peach emoji, it kind of works.
A peach emoji and an eggplant emoji. It all makes sense.
Well, I think we may have found
We have a new
something.
title for the show. Screwed the peach.
I told you I'd come up with something. Oh, what else? Oh yeah. There's nothing else.
That's it.
That's it.
Man, that was a lot of buildup for nothing.
There's a lot of buildup. That's what I do. My wife hates it too. Pete, what's on your bench?
On my bench this week, I built a couple of. This is a fun project. This is just something I just wanted to do. I built a bunch of French cleat wall hangers out of all these little scraps that Dan would have kept for years. Mike would have just burned or thrown out. It was a lot of walnut. It was just small offcuts of walnut. Nothing I can make a cutting board out of, so it's useless to me.
Nothing I can make half a cutting board out of.
Yeah,
Never
nothing.
finish.
Yeah, not even like the tiniest of cutting boards, which is just a coaster. Yeah, I couldn't even make those. So I started making like French cleat wall hangers, and I made a couple. Like, there's a walnut, like super fancy walnut beer koozie holder that's on my French cleat wall now. And I made this one that I was actually really proud of. It was
Very niche.
Very niche, yeah. And of course, also out of walnut. But I keep my stickers in the shop all the time because like sometimes people stop by or whatever. I just liked having them there. And I just kind of kept putting them into French cleat itself. Like they just kind of sat in a cleat. And I wanted them on display, and I was going to put them in a little walnut box. And then I was like, wait, I have a bunch of like thicker, like 1/4-inch plexiglass. So I ended up cutting it out. So the front of the box, so the sides are walnut, the back is walnut, and then the front is clear, so you can actually see the stickers in there. So it's like a nice little.
If we could get you to
promotional thing in the
focus your
background.
energy on things that are useful,
Yeah, I know.
you'd be
And
such a productive human being.
and what's
It's
funny is
unreal.
Dan's talking about like, oh, I should have made that a video. I should have totally made this a video.
Yes, you should have.
Then
That would have been
blow it
amazing.
up on Instagram. Oh my god.
He's totally going over the thing that really stood out for me, which was the koozie holder.
Yeah.
So
He
dumb.
put a koozie holder on his
Stupidest
French
thing I've ever
queen
seen.
wall. We're pros.
When my friends come over, we hang out in a shop a lot, especially with COVID and everything happening. Having this island in the middle of like the table saw and whatnot, it spaces everyone else out
It's like a
nicely.
giant bar. It's where you
Yeah,
put
so
your
we
beer on
kinda hang
the
out.
cast iron.
Yeah, that's why there's a koozie
Best.
holder, so you don't put it on a freaking
Oh, I
cast
see.
iron, which people have
Mm.
done before. So I
You
did
should
that.
make coasters. Have you thought of that?
You mean tiny cutting boards? Yeah,
Yes.
I've thought of it.
So sad.
Aside from that, I have been working on what I keep jokingly referring to as Mega Desk. For any Office fans out there, they know about Dwight and his Mega Desk. Basically, the desk, and those of you watching the video, you may notice that there's a super fancy, super cheap table that's behind me now. This desk was $150 on Wayfair, and the top is beautiful. All 6 sides are face grain. It's really nice, super fancy, but it allowed me to kind of shift my desk over. I have a dedicated printing area, and I got to reclaim my desk itself. And not only that, but I actually did a bunch of like Ikea hacks, because this is an over 10-year-old Ikea desk. The Malm series. Everyone's familiar with that one?
Nope.
Nope. Most people are. Mike's nodding.
Most
So basically,
people
instead
are.
of like it has like this little pull out side, I affixed it to the
Pull out.
desk so it's solid, and I added like a massive drawer underneath my desk so I can store all my goodies and snacks, because snacks is where it's at. But yeah, so I've been working
Show
on the
title.
desk, and
Snacks is where it's at.
You need to calm down.
Okay.
but it's just been nice because now I can really focus. This whole place was constantly getting covered with stuff, and I spend just as much time in front of this desk as I do in a shop. So it's nice to have this external shop kind of organized a little bit. But that's all I got. Mike, what do you got going on?
Well, I was sick this last weekend,
Oh,
and my wife had it. Well, my son had it, and then my wife had it, and then I got it. I wasn't concerned that it was COVID. The only symptom I had was exhaustion and like post-nasal drip and like a sore throat. So it was, but man, did it knock me up? What's up? You saying something, Dan?
Yeah, it sounds like tuberculosis. Have you looked into that?
Tuberculosis. I've seen,
sounds like dengue fever.
I've seen Tombstone, and I don't have tuberculosis. Dengue fever.
Is it leprosy?
Anyway, don't have tuberculosis. I did not get that tested, but I think we can rule it out. I binged it earlier, and I didn't have that. So
Thank you for that.
no, it put me on my butt pretty hard. I was really, really exhausted. It was crazy. But got over that. And this week I had a lady reach out to me, potential client reach out to me a couple weeks ago about this very large serving tray charcuterie board. It was 16 inches by 36 inches. Cutting boards, they're not like the most fun, but it's that time of the year, and I've got the CNC now, and adding the personalization stuff, they just make money. So she was very nice, but she meant to get back to me last week. I told her I needed a week lead time, and she needed it by tomorrow. It's Friday right now. And well, she forgot to get back to me. So I had to do kind of a rush order on it, and I got that done in a couple nights. So I was able to knock that out for her. And I am really happy with it. I took some pictures of it, some beauty shots of it today. So came out nice.
How much do you love V-Bits?
It is really awesome watching the V-Bit do its thing. Like, it really is cool watching it work.
Which one did you use, by the way?
My big 1/2-inch shank.
But the 90 or 60?
It's a 90, yeah. It did
90?
a 45708 is the
Try
part
the
number.
60. The 90 is nice, but the 60
I
just
literally won't do anything you suggest.
you should.
just
It's incredible.
No, I do want to try it. I
The
have
60 just comes out so clean.
I have a 60. I got a couple 60s and a couple 90s, or a few 90s. So I want to try that 60 pretty bad. I want to actually try to engrave my logo, or I want to cut out my logo in something. I just don't know how I'm going to do it, because my logo has some, where the mustache is by the beard, it has some weird vector. It's really difficult actually I think the carve is going to be tough, but
I think
I
you
want
need
to
a
try it out.
120 bit. 120
Oh.
degree bit.
That's super steep?
It's
It's
like
really
super
flat, right?
really flat, but it's like you can do those, like the beard would be like 2 cuts with the thing. It would be like super smooth.
I'll have to look into one.
Yeah.
But that means
I
I'm
got a
not gonna
guy,
do
call
it.
Rusty.
But yeah, I'll reach out to Rusty, see what he can get me from Amana. But yeah, anyway, I got that board done. I still got this bench. I haven't done anything on the bench during this week at all. It's really hard for me to focus on it during the week because everything for that, I got so much done last week when I took the long weekend off. I got so much of that done. I really just need to do the joinery on it, get it together, and start working on the slab. I think I'm going to be able to knock it out and get the first dry fit together this weekend. It's really hard for me to work on it in like 1.5 to 2 hour segments because I just don't feel like I get enough done. So I need like the whole weekend to do it. So the problem with this weekend
with big projects.
Yeah, I mean, you can't like do small amounts. You have to do it all at once, or you forget where you were, especially with complicated joinery. Even when you're using the domino, you have to set up all these mortises in a specific order, and I've already forgotten it. So I have to sandal my
Say it
markings
louder
off.
for the people in the back.
I have to sandal my marks off, and I've got to remark it because I don't even know what those marks mean because I made them last weekend, and then I got sick. So I got to do that this weekend. And tomorrow, my neighbor Ken, he brought down 2 cedar trees earlier in the year, and we are going to be milling up all that wood tomorrow. I am not looking forward to that, but I did tell him I would help him do that. So we got to do that. And then this weekend, I got to finish up the shed as well because it was supposed to rain today. Luckily, it didn't. It was supposed to rain Sunday. That got called off, but it is raining all weekend next weekend. So I got to get that thing weathered in really bad. So Robin, my wife's going to finish priming it tomorrow. And then Sunday, I will. What's up, Dan?
Does that mean you haven't had any rain since you built that thing?
In California, we haven't had rain since last May.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's why we have all these fires. It's great here. You should check it out. But the also, hey, the taxes are super high and they make decisions that don't make any sense. But we've got I got to get sold 2, please. No, I got to get that thing weathered in real bad. So I think I can get a lot of it done this weekend, but I do need to work on that bench too. So there's that. What else have I been working on? Oh, I've got like 5 custom sign orders right now. And
Nice.
I shipped out a flag. I've got 2 custom flags that I've got in right now. And then I've got 3 signs that I've got right now. I've got the deposits on 2. I'll take the deposits on the other one when I start working on the design. Basically, I don't take the deposit on a custom sign. I don't do any of the design until I have the deposit on it because I don't want to waste my time on a design if they're going to back out last minute. And then that's kind of it, right? Oh, and I was telling the guys before the show, my barber messaged me, and there's a tattoo shop next to my barber, and that guy got the space next to him in the little area they're at. Excuse me. And they're turning it into a tap room, and they're going to be reaching out to me for pricing on a live edge bar and some tables. So I'm really excited about that.
That's dope.
And that's local too.
I thought you were going to tell us about how you've been getting illegal haircuts for the last
Nope, I didn't do that.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about, Pete.
He doesn't have any hair.
I don't know why you'd bring that up on a publicly broadcasted show.
But
But anyway,
he broke the law with his beard.
he broke the law with his beard.
Well, they're not cutting your head.
No. Broke the law with his beard. I like that.
Mike is bald.
I am completely bald. You may think that because of this beard, I'm quite hairy. Dan knows where the rest of this goes. Shaved. Arnie Palmy alert. No? All right.
Should we jump into some questions?
No, I'm going to keep going on about these random jokes from the other guys. Aim for the bushes?
Aim for the bushes.
Yeah, I think we should probably jump into questions because this is really stupid.
I had that song stuck in my head.
There goes my hero.
My
And then they just die. The best scene in all of any movie.
So
ever.
dumb.
Oh
So dumb.
man. All right. I hope
It's a great movie. I'm going to watch that movie tonight before I go to bed.
That movie. Well, this first question is from a little gal named Adrianne Vita. I don't get the joke she's about to make, but maybe someone does.
Hey guys, I almost forgot to call my question in. I think this week I'm going to ask the question along the lines of, where is the most unique place that you have found supplies? Because I know, for instance, like Pete had brought up that he likes to go to his local flea market to get his E. coli dental picks. And so I was just wondering, where do you guys sometimes go for your unique finds?
Pete, can you bring us some any insight on this joke?
Yeah, let me explain. So,
Oh, you do know. Good.
yeah, so
I thought this was gonna be
Adrianne
dumb.
Adrianne imagined this scenario where I get Ikea picks, and she clearly brought it up, and I'm playing along with it.
I feel like this was a joke in the pre-show chat,
Maybe?
and we've forgotten it.
I don't know.
That's a very good possibility.
Because Adrian's usually pretty on point with his jokes.
Yeah.
Her?
They're really crazy and inappropriate, but she's usually on point with him.
So yeah, I don't get an E. coli toothpicks. I get
But
my
have you
tet-
bought?
I get my
stuff?
tetanus tools, tetanus brand tools. Yeah, they're all rusty and crap.
Dang it.
But yes, 100%.
They're all rusty.
I-
Are you wearing? Is that because your Macbeth shirt you're wearing?
Yeah. Look at,
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
so dumb. We're really reaching this.
This is really bad. We have no
so bad.
We have no material this
Wait,
week.
I mean, she gave my answer. It's like I go to flea markets. Sometimes I find something ridiculous. One of my favorite little small tools. It's a spatula. It's like a 1/2 inch wide, about 3 inches long. That's what he said, and it's super flexible, and it's so easy to clean up glue squeeze out with it because it's super flexible. And I think it's for painting, and I have not been able to find one anywhere, but I got it for 25 cents at a yard sale, and I use it on every project that I have glue upon. So that's my thing. What about you, Mike?
I can't think of anything weird like that.
You go to Michael's, anything like that?
Went to
No?
Michael's, found 800 board feet of walnut for $2 a board foot.
They
No,
sell pine for like $10.
No, I've never had any weird things like that. I mean, other than like getting weird deals on wood, what we talked about last week on Facebook, but nothing weird like
Gnarly Facebook walnut.
that. Yeah, I got some gnarly Facebook. I wish I got some gnarly Facebook walnut. That'd be amazing. I did one time, actually, so this does kind of play in. One time there was an auction, and I think me and Dan were like talking a lot then. And Pete too. I think I talked to you before we started the pod.
Yeah.
There was an
that.
estate sale about 3 hours south of me, and some old codger had died, and he had like 200 acres, and they went in the barn and they found just like thousands of board feet of walnut because he had all this. He didn't have he had just tons of property with orchards on it, walnut orchards, and he had over the years brought these trees down and had them milled up, and he was storing them in his barn. Well, I don't remember what happened, but some lumber company went down there and bought all the wood and like outbid everyone, but it was still cheaper than anything you could ever get anywhere else. But they were able to buy the whole lot all at once, so no one could compete with them. Anyway, it was like a ridiculous amount of walnut, but that's not exactly similar to what she was asking. Dan, what did you get any weird deals?
Actually, yeah. There used to be a Habitat for Humanity restore
Good
next to
call.
me.
Those are great.
And if you have any of those near you, go into them because I found all kinds of stuff in there. I found brand new routers in the box. I mean, it was from the 90s, but I got it for like $20. It's a damn good router.
Yeah.
And I even found a saw stop 36-inch extension wing that I still have in the box.
3 horsepower
watch
PCS saw stop for $80 in the box.
No, so like the saw stop 36-inch extension wing, I think it goes for like $200 or $250. I got this thing for $20, brand new in the box. I've even found like random bits of wood. Like I found walnut, I found cherry, I found white oak. Mike's getting bored of this story.
It's really good, Dan. This is a good one. No, sorry, I don't know why I'm so tired. This is
But
interesting.
yes, that's my tip. The Habitat for Humanity restore.
Dan's hot tip.
Wow.
Don's hot tip.
Don's hot
top. No, Dan's hot tip. That is a really good tip though, because Habitat. I have gone into them one or two times and been like, that's pretty cool actually. But I bet if you went into them regularly, you could probably find pretty sweet deals.
So at the one that's by my house, it's actually closed down a couple months ago, which is unfortunate. But I used to go in there.
COVID.
Yeah,
because they were selling.
I don't know
saw
what
stop.
I don't know why they closed, but probably.
Cost.
I knocked him out of business with the deals I got. But yeah, I used to go in there like once a week. I even found some turning tools that I forgot to give Pete when I gave him the lathe, but I gave him some brand new turning tools, so he doesn't need the old ones.
It's fine.
Typical Don. All right, so no, all right. Let's move on to the next one. This is from Kevin. or Lefty from Lefty's Woodshop. He has a question about woodworking.
Hey guys, Lefty from Lefty's Woodshop here. I was driving along today, listening to podcasts, and then someone pulled up in front of me and I saw their website and a logo on their truck, and I got to thinking, would that be beneficial to the woodworking community? I know a few guys that have their logos in their truck, but I'm just wondering if that drives up local business, or if you guys even know. It's probably more word of mouth these days, but let me know. Thanks, guys. Love the show. Talk to you later. Bye.
I actually put Coffey Building Group in Old English on the back of my pickup truck.
It actually says ye oldie coffee.
No, it's just
Coffee.
yeah. No, that example I think is probably not a great way of drumming up business, but I could be wrong. I mean, if you're like doing a lot of built-in work or stuff and you're traveling around, like for me, if I was doing furniture full time or doing this full time, I'm probably not driving a lot of places, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you're going to a lot of installs, on-site installs, it probably makes a lot of sense. Like if you have a trailer or something where you're delivering built-ins or furniture, it'd be smart to have that on there because that's free advertising space. But I'm really, really against bumper stickers and stickers on your vehicles. I think they look stupid, so I probably wouldn't do it. But if you had a big like cargo van trailer, like a big,
by the way,
like,
huge thank you to our sponsor, StickerBeat.
They don't sell bumper stickers. I've ever talked to Kyle. They don't do that. They only sell woodworking stickers. But yeah, no, it's I don't know how much that would work. It really depends on what you do, I guess. But I think his other question is, how do you advertise? I mean, I spend zero money on advertising. I mean, the social media aspect is kind of all my outside of word of mouth advertising. Excuse me very much. So I really am leveraging my followers and my friends and family on social media to get my marketing done. So it might get to the point where I've kind of been like thinking about figuring out how to pay for advertising for my CNC services. I don't even know how that would look, what that would look like, or how would I even go about that. So I know there's probably an agency I can reach out to help me to put together an ad that would make sense, but does it even make sense to spend the money on that? I don't know. Who knows? Pete?
I'm not a big proponent of the, permanently put a sticker or something on your car because I don't know. First of all, you're not always in business mode. But I'm a big fan of like the magnetic sheet with your business information, because like you said, Mike, with the installs or deliveries, like you're pulling up on a job site and having your logo or something on a car and then pulling up to your residence, because that's the thing, a lot of us are working out of our residence and a lot of us don't even technically have a business. They're just we have like a brand we're trying to create, but I mean there's plenty of people out there that aren't, I don't have an LLC or anything, I'm just doing DBA. But those people that you can have like kind of a name and wait for people to see like, oh, they're delivering a walnut desk over there. And so what's DDWW? That's cool. Like maybe, and they're driving Silverado. That must be good. So
that's not true.
There is something
so
to
true.
it, but I don't think it's a thing that like we talked about this in a pre-show. I've never once called a service because I was like at a traffic light and I was like, oh, I do need my HVAC checked. So I think it has, you want to advertise when it's appropriate, but like all the time, I don't think it's really that relevant. That's my personal opinion. So like being able to slap a magnetic sticker on a car when I'm doing a delivery and then take it off when I drive home, I think that'd be a plus for me. What about you, Dan?
I'm going to go in opposite direction.
Oh, here we go again.
I don't see too many negatives, especially like if you're doing a lot of deliveries or installs.
And that's what I was saying too, is like if you're doing a lot of deliveries and you're going places, it makes a lot of sense. Especially it helps when you're trying to do the write-off thing too.
Yeah, and it gets you a little name recognition, especially if you go into those neighborhoods that are watching everybody else and they see your truck or car, I guess. Maybe you don't have a Silverado, but they see your truck with the emblem on it and everything, and they'll get a little information and then maybe they'll go talk to their neighbor Karen and Chuck, and they'll get your name and
Karen
say,
and
hey,
Todd.
how was Karen and Todd? But anyways, it can be beneficial is what I'm saying. It can help name recognition. However, if you are the type of person that drives like a jackhole on the interstate, it may not be the best thing for you to be putting your name and your business on there, especially if you're cutting people off and giving them the finger as you go down the interstate. Maybe not the best thing, which is
point. Good
kind of
advice.
why I don't have that stuff on my truck.
I've driven with Dan. It's very
as
scary.
Mike,
Very scary.
Scary.
as
I don't
Mike
get
can
scared by a lot of things, but
attest.
driving with Dan is really a frightening experience, and you don't want to do it unless you
So
just don't do it. Call an Uber.
It's got its ups and its downs. That's my 2 cents.
That's really good insight though about
Yeah.
if you're an idiot on this road. If you're
Yeah.
a freak in the streets. Wait,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you know. So,
And another thing I look at, I'm going to back up a little bit. Another thing I look at is if you're trying to sell, let's say you're trying to sell car detailing or something like that, and you're driving around in a hoopty that's advertising car detailing. Maybe that's not the best thing for you to be doing. You know, maybe if you're driving around in a hoopty and you're trying to advertise your business,
keep it to
maybe
yourself.
I don't know. I just don't know if that gives off the best like first impression. You know what I'm saying?
So
It
would
puts
you be
on-
down with something like removable or like a magnet potentially
Oh,
one day?
Sure, Pete.
I'm
you're
I'm
correct.
curious because I mean you're saying like there is times to do it and times to not do it. I guess I
Right.
approached it more of as a car owner, not a truck owner. So like I'm usually driving around in my car for
Delivering cutting
non-business
boards.
purposes.
Can't
They
get
fit in
anything
my car
bigger in there.
perfectly.
Pass them out like pizzas.
Yeah, I keep them in a little the little case too. I come up to the door and I take it out of the heater thing.
The thing to keep
Domino's
it warm.
Keep them.
Get your fresh hot cutting board here.
I don't want it to get shocked and then crack. Let's move on to the next one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, please.
I don't think that it's a bad. There's no negatives. I agree.
Yeah.
I just don't.
It
think
could
that
be
when-
negatives.
Well,
I
there
just
could be
talked
negatives
about
like
negative.
Dan was saying, but I mean, I think that by and large, if you don't drive like a moron,
Yeah.
you're gonna. It's a lot of positives, but I think that it depends. It's varying degrees, I guess, maybe of how seriously you take your business. I think if it like is your job, it's a good idea. Like if
Yes.
that is
Yes.
your income, you should probably try to be. Anytime you're driving around making deliveries, you should want to put that name out there. If it's something
Yes.
you're doing really passively or leaning towards a hobby, you're wasting your time. Don't do that. Wait until it becomes something a bit more,
Yep.
because then it just seems like a waste to me. That's my personal opinion on that. So this next question is from Ash, and I don't know Ash's last name. Does anyone know that? His
Walker.
last name?
Ash.
Oh yeah,
Ashley Walker.
Dumb. I know his last name. I'm an idiot. This is from Ashley Walker. He used to be of Woodwork and Whiskers, and then he was with Ash and Barry,
Yeah.
and now he's with Ash Take 3. And the reason is because his account has been shut down multiple times on IG, and
Which
there
is
isn't-
insane.
it is very odd that has happened. It's very unclear why that has happened, but either way, Ash is very plugged into the community, and it's really important to him being a part of the community. As any one of us, if we were putting into it, if we lost our account, it'd be we'd be very distraught by it. I was banned for a week on Instagram, and it was a bummer.
That's what blows
So
my
he-
mind is that he didn't get banned for a week or limited to what he can do. They just shut it down.
Me too. That's why it's kind of weird. Like I
It's
don't know
so
what's like,
crazy.
I feel like there's so much more to this than we know. But either way, Ash had his account shut down, and that just sucks. So we just wanted to kind of get the word out there. And Pete's gonna throw his Instagram handle underneath his question in the description. His new handle, which is Ash Take 3. So go check him out. And if you don't like his page and don't sub or don't follow it, but you might like it. And he's a really nice guy, and he's very funny, and he's really community driven. So go check him out.
Yeah. Maybe it's because he's from Tehran. Maybe that's the problem.
I think they did find out that he's been VPNing through
Yeah.
Tehran. But
The
anyway,
reason all of
Ash-
you are big in Tehran is because he likes your posts.
Right. He runs all those accounts. Don't know why we shut him down. No. All right. So this question is from Ash with Ash take 3.
Howdy, boys. Ash from Woodwork and Whiskers, or Ash from Ash and Barry for the moment, till they get this crap sorted out. Anyways, my question is, on the show last week, you mentioned about keeping your router bits clean. And I'm just curious as to how you do it. Do you hit it with a bit of polished sausage, or what's the go? And also, do you sharpen them at all? And how do you go about that if you do, or do you just piff them? Let me know. Great to talk to you, boys. Great show, as always. Cheers.
Pete.
So I kind of touched up on this last week when we were talking about it, but or 2 weeks ago, I guess now. I don't sharpen them ever. No, I'm not an expert at sharpening blades like that. Table saw blade, I'll send it out for sharpening if it's a fancy enough blade. But router bits, I wouldn't even try to begin to sharpen something like that. There's too many curves in a lot of them, and leave it to the professionals. But honestly, router bits, they're not that expensive. There are some expensive ones out there, but most of the ones that we're buying, they're in the $20 for a kit of 10 to $20 or $30 or $40 for one. That's what most of us are getting. Some of us are getting some nicer stuff in the 50s and up. But like even that stuff, it costs more because it lasts you longer. You don't have to really sharpen it. It is a consumable. So that's one thing. As far as cleaning goes, I have a set of brushes. I actually did a couple of stories about it over the last week or so because I was making a little holder for the French cleat wall where I have it. I bought this again at a flea market. Thanks, Adrian. I bought a set for like $1 it's a brass brush, a steel brush, and a plastic brush or whatever. And I take the brass brush. Brass is very soft, so it doesn't really damage any of the carbide bits, even the cheap steel bits. So you can clean up a lot of the pitch that's on there, but you need to do it immediately after using your bits. A lot of us will just put them away and they'll cake on there, and it really takes a lot of work to get that cleaned up. If they do get really bad, I will use some laundry detergent and water, just kind of mix it up. Mike, I think you use Simple Green? Tide Pods, yeah.
Simple Greens, yeah. I use Simple Green.
Yeah, Simple Green's a really good one too. I ran out like over a year ago and I just have not gotten any more, but that's what works for me. What about you, Mike?
I will clean my bits with Simple Green or Pine Sol, and I'll do the same thing with my saw blades and stuff, but I'm not going to sharpen them. That's when it's time to throw them in the trash can and get a new one. Dan, what about you?
Same thing. I will clean my router bits with a brass brush.
Thanks, Don.
And some Simple Green. Actually, if the pitch is built up too much, I might get a little hate for this. But if the pitch is built up too much and I didn't clean it off right away, a little lacquer thinner will work as well.
Why would you get hate for that?
I don't know. I figure somebody might hate me for it. I don't know.
So brave.
I just always assume.
It's so brave.
So brave.
But lacquer thinner will work for that as well. You don't want to soak it because it will break. So especially if you're using a router bit with a bearing on it, it will break down the grease in the bearing and make the bearing bad. But it's okay to scrub it real quick and dry it real quick to get the pitch off. So that's what I do.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, pretty straightforward. It's like cleaning a saw blade.
Yeah.
But I think there's such a small amount of carbide on those. I don't even know. I mean, I'm probably very wrong. I don't even know that it'd be worth getting it sharpened.
Well, it's certainly not worth it, especially the router bits with bearings on them, because that will screw up the alignment.
The bearing to blade.
True. Good point. Finally, took 35 episodes. Good point. So let's go to Josh the Dad's question. It's about finishing.
Hey guys, it's Josh the Dad. Yep, Josh the Dad. One of the big IG coming at you with number 25. Yep, 25 times I have sent you guys a question. Apparently, I have nothing better to do. But
Oh,
anyways,
boy.
so I'm working on
missed a
this
week.
project right now, and it's for a friend who's going to give it to their parents as a Christmas gift. It's a piece of walnut, really beautiful piece, and it's been flattened. It's going to be engraved on the CNC, and there's going to be some epoxy involved. It's going to look awesome. But the main question is this. I don't know how they're going to use it. And I've spent the last week watching YouTubes from general morons to experts. And they've given all their different advices on the different stuff that they want to use. But I'm curious what you guys think. If you don't know how a serving tray or a pretty cutting board is going to be used, and it's a nice piece of hardwood, how would you finish it to stand the test of time? Now, I'm not necessarily worried about the brand. I'm more worried about, is it like a furniture oil? Is it a cutting board oil? Is it a shellac? Is it a lacquer? Is it another penetrating sealing kind of thing? Do you just do a poly over it and say, it's going to be pretty and just leave it at that? What do you do? You know, I don't want to give this to them and then go, oh, crud, it's destroyed in, 5 years or whatever. So what do you guys do? Thanks. Have a good one.
Dan, what do you do?
Well, it really depends on if it's going to be a cutting board or a serving tray. I mean, those are two very different things.
But he
It's
doesn't
gonna be
know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't know.
What if it's a flat tray that could also be a board?
You could ask.
Well, what
Have
if you
ever
don't
thought
know?
about asking?
It's a hypothetical.
What if these people don't exist, Don? I'm gonna run
Call
Don.
me Don.
They were just a ghost.
Look, if you know it's going to be a cutting board, you're going to want to use a food safe finish like mineral oil and beeswax. If you're not sure, you're going to want to use something like an Odie's, a very organic food safe finish. Odie's, you could use Osmopolix. I'm drawing a blank on everything else.
Walrus oil.
Walrus oil, yes.
You could use their board.
I can never say that name. Why do you say that?
Warloose.
Measure. I love the way you say it.
Major.
It makes me smile.
What do you think, Pete?
So
I thought I had a very smart answer, and you guys
it
were
is a
like,
smart
no.
answer. Those are all good,
a good
answers.
answer.
I guess if I was kind of leaning on the side of caution because I just don't know how they're going to use it. Maybe it's some kind of serving tray where it's meant to be a serving tray, but they might want to use it as a cutting board to put food on it. I'll probably look at a food safe finish. Like Mike, you just did your test on the Odie's, and I actually did the same test on my little bottle opener. I finished it with Odie's oil, and I left it in my shop for a couple weeks, and then literally just ran water over it, and it was fine, and it's food safe. Another thing I've tried is Howard's makes a board wax. It's actually they call it food safe paste wax, and it's great. It's just basically just like beeswax and a bunch of stuff, very similar to Odie's wax, but it does go on a little tougher. Like it feels a lot more like a paste wax that you would use. And I've used that in the past on a board, and it's held up pretty well. I've seen the board a couple months later, and it was, after heavy use, looked pretty dang solid. And that was on a actual cutting board. So you could try something like that, some kind of a tougher finish. You probably want to stay away from like just the mineral oil bath that a lot of people do. I mean, I use mineral oil too, but sometimes when you don't know what the surface is going to be like, or if it's going to be a serving tray too, you might want to look at another more durable finish. What about you, Mike?
I know he wasn't looking for a brand, but I'm going to say Odie's oil. I mean, it just does everything. That's why I use it. I love that stuff. The drawback is to make it water safe, it has to be 2 to 3 weeks of cure time. That's the bummer. So, like actually this board that I was talking about for what's on my bench, I really wanted to use Odie's, but I couldn't because she's giving it to the gal who she got it for tomorrow, and they're using it with as a charcuterie board tomorrow. So I had to use another product.
What'd you use?
Walrus oil.
Nice.
So
Walrus
I mean,
oil.
walrus oil.
Walrus.
No, I used walrus oil, but I wanted to use Odie's because I just prefer that product. I just prefer it. It's what I like more. I think it's.
Can I just say one thing real fast? We talk about Odie's on here all the time. We're not sponsored by Odie's at all. We
No.
just all kind of love it.
It's good product. I mean,
Also
I
smells
said
great.
Damn good product.
Low VOC or no VOC.
more than it smells great and no VOC. It's a good product. I mean, it just
Yeah.
works really well and it's very easy to put on. I mean, I know that one guy blew his back out really bad. I had to go to the ICU for a while. But
We'll address that shortly.
no, I mean, it's a great product. I really do like the stuff. Now, like I said before, I haven't used it for years and years and years, so I don't have long-term, durability under my belt with it. But I do have a bench that my son literally jumps on every single day to put his shoes on, and you can like tack it with your thumb or with your fingernails, and you can hear it go tick, tick, tick. I mean, it's a good finish,
So you let it cure. You let it cure on there.
You have to let it cure properly, correct? But I mean, any sort of hard. Honestly, Josh, if I was in your position, I would say Odie's or some sort of hard furniture wax, because it is technically food safe.
Mhm.
And then if that wears off, which it won't last a very long time, you could offer to refinish it for $800. So let's go to the next question. And no,
No,
but
I know that was a joke, but that's
Simple Finish would work too.
Simple Finish
Yeah,
is
Simple Fish works as well.
it is, I believe that is a technically food safe item.
Yeah.
I don't know that they actually have.
I mean,
the
technically, whenever anything cures, it's food safe.
right.
Technically.
It doesn't have an FDA thing on there, so I don't know that I want to say out loud that it's food safe. It doesn't have it doesn't have the FDA thing on there, so I don't know that we as a entity should say that. But technically, it is because it's all natural plant derivative. So it's technically food safe. But there's a lot of options. Basically, don't use a poly or a lacquer or some sort of solvent-based product that's delivered by a solvent. Is my suggestion, because there's products that do everything. There are a handful of them out there that do everything, and they're all natural. And for me, I just want to get away from high VOC products anyway.
Yeah.
Dan, are you prepared to jump into the giveaway?
I am very prepared.
Oh, thank goodness.
Bring it.
I'm gonna take a quick nap.
He's looking
Last
around
week
like
was week 20. No, I'm ready. Last week was week 20, and we gave
Has
away.
Macbeth been sponsoring the podcast giveaway for that long?
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah, all 20 weeks. Actually, this week will be 21 weeks. I'm talking about last week.
Yeah, I know. That's
was.
crazy.
That's nuts.
Thank you.
But yes,
Thank you,
Macbeth has
Macbeth.
sponsored
Almost as much as Josh the Dad.
21 weeks. So last week we gave away Odie's Super Duper Light 9-ounce jar and
Love
a
it.
Scotch Brite non-abrasive pad. As I said, we are not sponsored by Odie's, but we are sponsored by Macbeth.
Hit me
a
up,
little
James.
bit.
I'll get sponsored.
Anyways, that winner was Todd Singer, and he was lucky enough to.
I heard a good joke
the...
about him.
I
just
did
joking.
not. I
Stop
did
it.
a good joke about it. But he was lucky enough to be in the pre-show, and he heard the announcement live.
Sorry about that, Todd.
And now you can too.
So
nice pitch.
As soon as I sent him a message, he was on top of the response because he heard it live. But anyways,
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. This week is week 21, sponsored by Macbeth Hardwood. Thank you, Macbeth.
Woo!
We are giving away, and they are really stepping up their prizes, gents. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah,
But we got
Rusty's
some
bringing
really dope prizes coming up. And this week we're giving away a Jessam Paraline featherboard valued at $45.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's a nice featherboard.
Just
I'm
some
a little
featherboard.
jealous. So, anyways, I got a couple options. I got some options for the code phrase this week.
Screwed the peach.
Screwed the peach is one.
Oh, is it okay?
And the second option I have is illegal beard trim.
Yeah, go with it.
You want? I kind of like that one too.
Illegal beard trim's good.
Illegal beard trim is your code phrase this week, ladies and gentlemen.
We're totally deviating from woodworking now, huh? I like it.
You know,
I mean, might as
woodworkers
well.
have beards or whatever.
That's great.
Why not?
Code phrase is illegal beard trim. Send it to us in a DM on our IG account, Another Woodshop Podcast.
They call me Jessam Featherboards.
Justin Featherboards, attorney at law.
Or send it to an email at anotherwoodshoppodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, Jessam Featherboards.
I don't know where this is coming from.
I don't know either. Hey, this question's from AJ. He has a question.
We're
about...
just jumping right into the questions. I was going to say, thank you very much, Big Beth.
Yes, thank you,
Week
Macbeth.
21.
We love you.
Now back to the show.
This question's from AJ. He has a question about cameras.
Check it out.
It's AJ from Crafted in NJ.
Oh.
I got a quick question about cameras. I'm trying to do my first YouTube video, and I'm using a GoPro right now, but I want to get something a little bit better quality, and not break the bank. So I was hoping that you guys can dive into maybe what the best camera to get. I see everybody's using these nice fancy cameras, but I'm just afraid of the price, and I haven't looked yet. So any input is greatly appreciated. Love you guys. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Thanks.
Pete wants to answer.
I mean, short and simple answer is your phone. Preferably a new generation, whatever the newest available is. This is the perfect time of the year. All the new stuff comes out. The new iPhone 12 just launched. I think the new Samsung phones just launched too. Galaxy Note, whatever number they're up to now. They have phenomenal cameras, and as long as you manage your media properly and export it as it goes, it's pretty easy to record with, and it's great quality. And that's what
I think they
all
all
of us
shoot in
started
4K, right?
They shoot in 4K now, with like easily.
Crazy.
So, Dan, what about you?
I mean, piggybacking off the phone thing, I mean, that's a great tip. I don't even have the newest iPhone, which the iPhone 12 just came out, right? I have the iPhone 11, which is it's a dinosaur now, but that thing shoots in 4K. It's crazy.
The XR did. I think it's been a while they've been doing that. So
yeah, and they shoot very good quality video. I mean, you can do a lot of things with those. But if you want to step it up to a nice camera, I would go with the Canon M50, and that's probably what Mike's going to tell you. I mean, that's a great little camera. I kind of want one, and I don't even need one.
Even with the stock lens, it's phenomenal.
It's not good.
It's pretty good.
Actually,
no.
I'm trying to position my wife to let me buy the Canon R6.
What's that? Full frame?
It's a full frame mirrorless camera. I could double it as a wedding photography camera. It's a very nice camera.
EF.
It's an EOS camera, but it takes.
So it's EFM.
Yeah, it's an EFM.
Mirrorless.
But,
you said that.
But you can buy
adapters.
An adapt. Jeez,
the Viltrox is dope.
You can buy an adapter so I can use all my same lenses. So that.
I love that Mike is speaking for you completely. Just all the words.
He doesn't have the words.
Mike gets me.
He's speechless.
Anyway, speaking of Mike.
Well, I think AJ's specifically asking about a camera and not phones. I think he's trying to get away from a phone. So I will say the Canon M50. I mean, it's scary. It depends on what the value. What are you trying to get out of it? So, if you're looking at a camera, it's a $600 camera. You're going to be spending more than that on lenses almost out of the get if you want to use it to its full potential. That kit lens it comes with is fine. It's fine.
Pine is fine.
It's fine like pine. It's fine. It's not. I haven't used it after the first week of getting a lens, so it has no value to me. But to really take advantage of a camera, you need to have good glass, and that comes from the lenses, and those are spendy. My 16 millimeter Sigma cost 80% of the cost of my camera, and then between the other 50 millimeter lens that I use and the speed booster, the mount adapter that I have, I mean, it's as much money. Well, that's not true. Those two lenses equal up the amount of money that it starts to add up quick, and you need other things.
It adds up very quick.
Yeah, you need tripods. You need.
I'm over 1,000 on my camera already easily.
Yeah, I'm probably 1,500 into mine, and Dan's laughing because that's cute. Like for Dan, but it's
adorable.
It's small beans for what we're doing, so you can get into it for pretty cheap. But what do you want to do? Like, if you want to make content, you need to have a camera. Like, if you want to make content for Instagram, you don't need to have a camera. You can get away with it on a phone. Yep. If you want to make long format videos and get better at videography and get into editing and do YouTube and other things, you need to get a camera.
Well, not just that, but like, we're kind of glossing over something that he didn't even bring up. You need to get a decent mic so you can have decent audio.
Oh, God, yes.
You could have the best picture quality in the world, but nobody's going to stick around if your audio quality is a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Audio is the
100%.
First thing that people will check out on if it's bad. If your audio isn't good, they will check out. So if, shop sounds are pretty easy to get away with. I mean, I have a shotgun mic on my on my M50. A phone mic is going to be just fine because they have noise canceling in them. They do a good job. I recorded that stuff for a long time. But you get a shotgun mic pointed right at the shop sounds. It sounds better, but you do need good audio, and you need that all synced up, and you need to do your voiceover nice. So if you're getting into producing video content, you're gonna be investing some money. Expect to spend $1,000 or a few $1,000s to get going.
It's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It is another rabbit hole. It's another hobby, and it's something that you can't really like partially do.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't really mention, and I'm gonna just tell you to steer clear of it, is camcorders. Don't look at
What?
camcorders. Because they still make them and they're decent, but
They
that's
do?
not what you want. You want, because you have no control over the lens or the quality. It's
year
just
is
the
this?
one. Yeah, exactly. But they're a thing. If you're setting up a stream or something like that, camcorder may be, but you really don't want that. You want a nice camera with a lens that you can control. And trust me, that investment is worth it. I have the same 60mm Sigma that Mike has on the M50, and it was worth it.
I just searched camcorder on Amazon. That's the result.
Did you misspell it? I'll send you my affiliate link.
Pete's hot tip right there.
It says,
Yeah, no,
"Do
I
you
said stay
mean
away.
Arizona or Amazon, Poland." That's what it asked.
Mike, your link's broken. Look at mine.
If I
It's
hadn't
filled.
screwed it up a little bit. No, it
Filled.
just populated. It was.
Oh,
in there
yeah,
anyway,
okay.
shit.
He doesn't know how to spell. He spelled camcorders with a K. In Mother Russia,
K-A-M-K-O-D-R.
camcorders you.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, it's definitely worth investing into something like that. But it's a high cost of entry. And listen, and don't discount that GoPro you have. It's a nice camera to have as like a B-roll.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
This freaks
Mount
me
that,
out. These
mount
things
that
are
sucker on the ceiling of your shop and get some wide angle like bird's
Yep.
eye views.
That's what I do.
4K, $100. How terrible is this camcorder? 4K for
If you want B-roll camera stuff, like you want a camera that's like just pointed straight at your table while you're working on stuff, get a camcorder.
15 frames
B-roll.
per second, 1080p. 15? What? That's an option?
I can
These
take
are
pictures
terrible.
faster.
Issue
Anyway,
your phone.
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah,
Let's
get
be
outta here. This
Beating
is
a dead
ridiculous.
horse here.
The next question is from David.
Hey guys, it's David G with Dr. G Custom Woodworking. My question for you is about spills in the shop. Whether it's some stain that spilled on the floor or some Danish oil you accidentally spilled on your bench. How do you guys go about cleanup? Do you use some shop rags? Throw some sawdust on it? What's your guys' preferred method? Thanks.
Around this time last year, I had started getting into holiday season, and I had a bunch of cutting boards, but I was selling a ton. I sold like 20 clocks, wall clocks. I sold a bunch of clocks last season, and I got done with all these orders, and I was going to make one for my sister-in-law. Actually, my sister-in-law who's here now, for her Christmas present. And it's a post I have up. I
remember this.
leaned over my bench and I knocked over an entire jar of Simple Finish all over my bench. And it's funny to go back. The video did terrible. I thought it would do good because it was so funny. But
Back Thursday.
yeah, that's right, TV. I'm gonna do that soon. But yeah, I was I actually was pretty calm because generally I'd freak out, but I grabbed a pile of paper towels and I grabbed some sawdust and I threw it all on there, and that's how I picked it up. Paper towels and sawdust. Pete.
Yeah, paper towels and sawdust, especially sawdust. I try to always have some on hand for that. I don't usually spill too much, but especially like if it's my workbench, with the workbench, I tend to just kind of like it's like a melamine top, so I just let it dry and then I scrape it off. It's nice and easy. I think Dan's got his whole top is the same way. That's like one real nice benefit of not having like a woodworker's bench, like some solid hardwood one, because that stuff just pops right off. Like I was gluing something up today and I just gluing right up on top of it. I know the glue's sticking right to the table. I don't care because it's just gonna pop off tomorrow. So that's kind of been my thing. But if it spills on the floor or something like that, sawdust and paper towels, 100%. What about you, Dan?
Are you saying I'm not a woodworker because I don't have a woodworker's
No.
bench?
I don't mean no disrespect, my Mr. Friend.
Right? If I spill stuff, I just stare at it and think, dang it. and then go about my business?
What would Dunlap
Because
do?
because it's gonna dry and catalyze.
WWDD.
WWDD.
What would
What
Dunlap
do?
do?
Oh my
Show
god,
title.
bracelets.
Show title.
God damn.
Because it's gonna catalyze and it will make less of a mess if you let it harden, and then you can scrape it up from wherever it's landed on. If it lands on my floor, I just scrape it up. And I don't make a mess wiping around with towels and rags and sawdust. Just let it dry.
Yeah.
Use a
Let it
scraper.
dry. Just slip through the like.
Hasn't
milk
killed
and
me
just
yet.
slip on it.
I have to edit all this out. So this
Keep it
next
in.
one's from first of all, Moses. Man, you're such a good sport. Let my people show.
Hey guys, my name is Moses from Let My People Chill. Woodchuck Chill. You guys were having such a blast last week. I didn't even know what you were laughing at. But this week's question actually relates to that name factor because Woodchuck Chill was just a funny name given by my sister-in-law, and I just used it to start up my Instagram page. But I came up with a name that's a little bit more branded. So the name is Chosen Craft Co. And you guys might like the name Woodchuck Chill better, or I don't know, even Let My People Chill better. But I just thought,
Chill woodwork.
I just wanted to brand it in a name that looks a little bit more official. But I'm curious what your process was in coming up with a name and the logo and all of that fun stuff. So can't wait to hear from you guys and stop making fun of my name. Just kidding. You guys are awesome.
Go ahead, Pete.
Well, we definitely discussed this in an earlier show. I think it was anywhere between episode 0 and episode 15. So we're not going to answer this. We're just going to let you listen to those 15 episodes. I'm kidding. No, the idea was always, I think for all of us, we all definitely sat down for a while to think about the name of the business. For me, I specifically chose
Dunlap
Workshop.
took weeks to come up with his.
Daniel
Took a long
Dunlap,
time.
and I want to do woodworking. What do I do? But for me, I made a very conscious effort of calling it pTree's Workshop, not Woodshop. I didn't want to kind of funnel myself into just woodworking projects because I knew I was always a tinkerer and a maker first, then a woodworker. I do a lot of stuff that I actually don't post on my page that much, which I probably should. Obviously, a lot of 3D printing. I do some electrical work, circuitry, just different tinkering, and then like stuff around the house. I want to make sure that, like I was looking at like Brad Rodriguez's page, his was fix this, build that. And he actually ended up doing a lot of like home renovation projects and stuff. I'm like, oh, he didn't get stuck in like, he's a woodworker. He's renovating a shower.
Fix this,
whatever.
woodwork that.
Yeah. So it was definitely a conscious
Slap
effort.
this,
You want to think
mahogany
about
that.
that.
Oh, that's
And-
funny, Mike.
And definitely a
was good.
play on words or a pun is definitely a nice way to do it too, because it sticks in people's minds. Like nobody remembers Peachy's Workshop, but Let My People Show, like that's pretty dope. What about you, DDWW? What would Dunlap do?
I have a little bit of a question first. Do you guys think that we are the first ones to come up with "Let My People Cho" as a nickname for him?
Yes,
Because that is hilarious.
I hope.
I want to believe that came from our show first, and I'm going to give Mike full credit because he came up with that. But anyways, yeah, I'm fully on board with "Let My People Cho Woodwork." That is an amazing name.
I like the chosen woodwork.
I like Chosen Craft Co. better.
Let my people Cho Woodwork. Come on now.
That's not.
Or
that's not
let my people
marketable.
Cho Workshop, as Pete would do, because he doesn't want to get pigeonholed into woodworking.
All right, fine. It's pTree's cornhole boards now. He's happy. But I only make cutting boards.
Right. It's ironic.
It's irony. Like rustic grain designs Tampa, but I do fine furniture.
I like how you
and
caught
built-ins.
yourself. You almost said it wrong.
I did.
Mike, what do you think?
I really like Chosen Craft Co. Moses. I think that's a great name. I just remember when I was coming up with like when my wife was like, "Hey, you should do an Instagram." I was like, "What's that?" So I started going into looking into it, and I was like, "Oh, this would be kind of fun, like coming up with a brand and like all that stuff was really exciting." I remember that. I remember conversations with my wife and my brother-in-law and just friends and stuff trying to come up with names, and it was a really exciting time, like coming up with the branding for it. And I actually hired a friend. She's a graphic designer to do my logo work, which I think she did a killer job on my logo because I think it's a really good logo. But that stuff was all very fun. So have fun with it. Whatever you end up going with, Moses. For me, it was a really fun time. It was like the beginning of something that I really, really care about, which is my business and my brand. So, but whatever you choose, make sure it's Chosen Craft Co. So
Whatever you choose, this is
whatever
the
you
choice.
whatever you chose. No, no, come on.
That's all you got.
Whatever Moses chose. No, okay. But seriously, I like Chosen Craft Co. and it was just a fun time of coming up with names. And like I said, Pete did say we discussed it, but I went with custom builds because I didn't want to be like Coffey Woodworking because it's dumb. Like, who does that? Who puts woodworking in the name of their company? I'm just joking.
What a loser.
What a loser. No,
Or Woodshop.
whatever you end up going with, honestly, like Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, he can still do welding. Like, it's not like a law. Like, no one's gonna be like, whoa, we're shutting you down, Dunlap.
This
Get
is
that
off
welder out of
brand.
here.
Unfollow.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You can do whatever you want. This is America.
Or I'll
still.
call you just a 3-letter word and then I block you.
Dead silence.
Well,
You're
it's
gonna call
a
him
nod
Cho?
to something that happened. No. When Dan lost a follower very aggressively that one day.
Yes, that was unreal. All right, this next question is from Sam Ross. He is well known for throwing out his back applying Odie's oil.
Hey guys, it is Sam, aka the guy who threw his back out applying Odie's oil. Super happy it's become a meme. Please make 1,000 more jokes of it. I absolutely love it. I have a question for you guys. I am using veneered plywood with a very thin walnut veneer on it, and I am wondering if penetrating finishes such as Odie's oil or Rubio Monocoat can still be used on these types of things, and if there's any risks involved, and if you guys have any advice on finishing veneered plywood.
Dan?
It's actually a really good question. I've never thought of it.
Plywood's veneered plywood for one.
Well, yeah, but the hardwood veneered plywood is usually pretty thin, and it's usually veneered with a glue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's
like all plywood,
a water-based glue, and if it's a water-based glue, a penetrating solvent-based finish might break down that veneer. I don't know. I've never thought about it until this question came up. I've always spray lacquered like a plywood.
Well, let me also, because I want to add something to this that I know for a fact, because I know Sam, he's local, and he actually
Did he
reached out
really
to
throw
me.
his back out?
He was
0%
trying to
chance.
generate heat, and maybe he was doing.
I
a
thought
whole,
maybe
like,
because he was local, you guys have had
No.
picnics.
he
and
did a whole
stuff, and-
table and like it was fully assembled and he was applying to all the angles and all this stuff. I guess it was a lot of work, but
It was
so
a lot of
what
math.
I actually want to add to it is he did reach out to me about said veneer project, but for something else, which was he had trimmed it in hardwood. So the whole thing was wrapped in hardwood, and it was a drawer front with like a small divot in it, kind of how what you did with the trapezoid cutout, but it was a small square off to the side. And so he trimmed this walnut veneer plywood with, I want to say it was hard maple. And he was asking me about sanding it flush. Like, how would you deal with sanding this, knowing that this veneer is super thin? And my only answer was carefully. I mean, that's all I could really do. And maybe like start with a hand plane and finish with very fine sanding. But I was hoping you can kind of talk about that too, because you did those when you did the shelves, right? Weren't the shelves themselves?
I feel like we're getting a little off track here, but yeah, I trimmed the hardwood veneer that I put on with a block plane or a razor blade. I didn't sand that.
Got it.
Because you're right, that is super thin and you need to be super delicate. So I went that route and then I gave it a very light sanding. But yeah, go back to his question. I wish I had an answer. I don't know. I've never thought about it.
I've never
It's a very good question.
I've never heard of that being an issue, so it tells me it's not an issue.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone having issues finishing walnut ply. So I can't imagine it's an issue. I've never seen anyone be like, well, I was going to use this finish, but I can't because it's walnut ply.
Actually, I think I got some walnut ply leftovers in the shop. I might go throw some different finishes on it tomorrow and see what happens.
Oh, another DDTT. Oh, Daniel Dunlap torture test.
Yeah,
gonna do it.
Some wipe on poly, some
DTS,
Danish oil, some
Dunlap
torture
oil. DTT. Wait.
Down to think about that. I'm gonna answer. So my thought with the whole thing was the glue is cured at this point. You know, it's not like it's hide glue or something that's it can come apart with heat or some pressure. So I assumed that like when it's cured, it's fine and penetrating. Yeah, it's only penetrating like a 16th or 32nd of an inch, but I mean, technically it should be fine. I thought it'd be no problem. You shouldn't see any blotchiness or any issues or whatever, because I'm assuming that that veneer is just thick enough to take that finish nicely.
That is a good point, Pete, because it's water-based, whatever, water is just the mechanism to deliver it. It evaporates and goes away and leaves the glue behind. So that shouldn't really matter, I would think. So,
yeah, you're right. I think I'm thinking about this too much.
You are.
But I'm still going to try it tomorrow.
Yeah, might as well. You have no content to put up, so might as well. Diggs? No? Okay. This next one. Oh, we're actually at our last question. This is Shane, and he's from Austria.
Hi, guys. This is Shane from Shane's Weekend Builds, calling from Europe. I have a question about woodworking. And it's about the little thingy I saw a lot of ads for, but I really considered it a toy until I looked closer and found out it might be a really nice piece of equipment. And I'm talking about the Shaper Origin. Always wanted to have a CNC, but I have a very small shop. So footprint for the CNC is too big. Or I have to decommit another tool, which I don't want to do. So I think Shaper can even outrun a CNC in terms of workpiece size, because it's in theory unlimited, right? Drawback, I think, is that you cannot leave it alone and do the work for you. But I'm really curious how you think about it and if you consider it a real tool or a toy. And thanks for having a discussion about this and your recommendations, and great work. Keep on doing it like this. Thanks.
I'll start this one. I have a full-size CNC and I want a shaper because, well, I want to talk to some of his points first. Outrun a CNC, in theory, yes, it can go to unlimited sizes. I'm not sure that you'd want to do that because the speed's going to be very slow and you're going to be doing it. It is still manual. So I don't know that you're going to want to do you can't do production work with it, I would say. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's actually 100% accurate, but I feel like you couldn't really do production with it. For a lot of things you use CNCs for, where in a production environment, like cutting out big panels out of sheet goods, when you're doing that with a shaper, it's kind of a waste because you might as well just use a table saw at that point or a track saw. It's going to be faster. And you're wasting their tape and stuff. But anyway, the one thing that's really cool about it is, though, if you have a giant countertop already installed that you can't take apart and you want to get an inlay in there, a shaper can do that. Or sometimes there's just situations where you want to take the tool to the piece instead of being able to take the piece to the tool. And that's kind of that's where, like, you run into, oh, I can take this to the bandsaw, or I'll just use my jigsaw, which actually technically can do the same thing, not as well, but it can do the same thing in theory, but you're able to take that tool to the piece. So for me, I have this CNC. I would actually like to get a shaper still. I think it offer some ability to do certain projects that I couldn't do with the CNC, but I don't think I don't think one replaces the other. I think they're just different tools. I think you're not really comparable. Dan?
I don't have a lot of experience with either one of those things, but I will tell you that I would love to have a Shaper Origin in my shop, and I do not view it as a toy. That thing, from everything that I've seen on the internet, and I've actually seen them in person, but I haven't used them, This is a dang good tool, and I would be super happy to have one in my shop. You know, as well as the CNC, obviously. But if I didn't have the room for a CNC, I would happily take a Shaper Origin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, it can do almost anything that a CNC can do, but Mike is right. It may not be the best at a production type quality or speed.
Environment.
Yes. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
But it can do everything a CNC can do. It might take longer, and it may not make as much sense. So I don't view it as a toy at all. What about you, Pete?
I think you guys both nailed it, and the answer is yes, yes, yes to all that, because it's not a toy. It is definitely it's a bit of a luxury item. It's like what, $2,500 for the base model, whatever, something like that.
Well, there's only one model. It's $2,500.
Oh, is it? Okay, because I mean maybe there's sell with first of all the bits and all that stuff.
There's stuff you have to buy, right? There's consumables, there's benches, there's the tape.
It is a luxury item, but I would compare it to, in the same family of like router table versus a palm router. Yeah, you can do all the stuff with a palm router. It doesn't always make sense to do it. But Mike brought up a great point, which is that it's a tool you bring to your workpiece, not, when you can't bring the workpiece into the tool or CNC or something. So
right.
I think if you don't have the space for it, yeah, it's kind of a big yes for me. I think it's worth it. It's definitely going to be able to, allow you to bring your work up to a new level. But it doesn't really replace a CNC. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I think it's definitely not a toy. It's a very cool and it's a very neat,
very professional tool.
Super innovative.
It is. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Dan. Innovative. It's innovative.
That's right.
You help me to help you.
That's what we got here. That's all our questions. We got through them. And we're an hour and 17 in. We're actually doing pretty good. I mean, is there anything else we wanted to discuss? We got the crash thing going.
The only thing we really want to talk about is how you should check us all out on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah. And
hey, before we go into that, do you want to bring up the SLC thing one more time?
Yeah, I actually want to bring up two things before Pete goes into that. I want to bring a couple things. The first thing is I want to say big thank you to Macbeth for being so supportive of the show and so supportive of this community and doing so much. They're really doing a great job. Rusty, you're killing it, my friend. Thank you for the support. We're trying to get we're not trying to. This is basically set in stone at this point. Maker meetup, another AWP maker meetup in Salt Lake City. We've discussed it once or twice on here. It's looking, honestly, if we can't, the truth is we're working it out with Macbeth. If for some reason it doesn't work out with Macbeth, the three of us are going to try to make it happen no matter what. So whatever that is, that might mean that we need to find a place, and there might need to charge admission to get some people in there so we can get like a hall or something. But where it is right now, we're trying to make it happen, and we're trying to make it happen the week of March. I want to say it was the 15th, which lines up with our 50th episode. So in 15 weeks, I guess that would be, or 14 weeks from now. So that's really exciting. It's a big milestone for us. The other thing is I do want to mention this, even though we brought it up in the pre-show. We are unbelievably almost at 100 patrons. So that is absolutely incredible to us. And that blows us away. It really does blow us away. It's really humbling. It's very humbling. And we're very, very thankful for all of you who support us and who are invested in what we're doing. So we thank you so much. And we're trying to figure out a way to, when we hit 100, because that's a huge milestone, like 100 patrons is nuts. When we hit that number, we want to figure out a way to give back to you guys in some special way. So we're going to try to work that out. And if you guys if you patrons have any ideas, please drop us a message or drop a comment on one of the patron posts in there. We'd really appreciate that.
I have an idea. It just came to me.
Yeah.
Pete's kielbasa board oil for everybody.
So did you have a good idea though?
No, that's
okay.
All right, I had a good idea. I just said I had an idea.
Good ones will cost you.
Jeez.
The bad ones are free. No,
what you pay for?
Yeah. So we're trying to figure something out with that. So, and then the other thing I wanted to do I wanted to say thank you to StickerBeat. We're really glad to have you guys on board as well. And really, guys, a lot of us are buying stickers for whether it be for your truck or for sticker swaps or just for in your shop. If you're throwing them with your orders or whatever, please go to StickerBeat. Reach out to them. Use one of our codes, 20% off. The prices are already good. Use one of our codes, specifically the Coffey code.
pTree.
You get 20%. You get 20% off. And
DDWW.
Oh, you said it. I was trying to block them out. No, but it's if you use one of those, you get 20% off. So big thank you to them. So go give them some support if you're looking to get stickers or if you're running out of stickers or whatever. Just take advantage of it.
And we may have a little StickerBeat announcement we will put on our podcast IG account.
We will
later in the week.
So stay tuned.
So pay attention to that. Pete, you want to restart what you were starting earlier?
Sure. Yeah, why not? No, but yeah, definitely. If you want to see more of our content, check us out on Instagram, on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. I feel like we're all getting a little more traction on Facebook lately.
What?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I am. I am at least.
I'm getting a lot of views on Facebook.
Mike's
It's
growing
weird.
on Facebook too.
I'm almost
So
at
check out
3,000
Mike and myself on
Our
Facebook.
podcast doesn't even have a Facebook account.
I'll take care of it. I'll have the IT guy handle it. Okay. And starting now, check us out in the YouTube lives. Not only that, Mike, I believe you started doing YouTube lives that you want to try to make a little more regular.
Actually, can I make an announcement here about that?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna wait till after the show.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm actually gonna
make the announcement after the show when nobody's listening.
I'm gonna start doing I really love doing lives. I've been doing them on Instagram for a while, but I really just want to do them on YouTube from now on. And I'm gonna be very honest with why. I'm monetized on YouTube and I can get a little kickback money on the YouTube view hours. And I like doing lives, so I can make money on that. I want to do them. And they're really fun for me. I really like doing lives. I love interacting with people live. I like getting questions and going over topics. So
it's also just better than Instagram lives because it
lasts forever.
Feed going over your screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just much easier on my computer. Anyway, point is, I'm gonna start doing them on Sundays. I'm looking at 4 p.m. my time, so it'd be 7 p.m. Eastern, and then figure it out for your specific time zone. But I want to do those. So if you could get me, Dan, what are you gonna say?
I wanted to make an announcement after you.
Okay, great. I want to do those live. So if you have a question for me or something you want me to talk about or just any ideas for it, shoot me an email at mike@coffeycustombuilds.com or DM me on Instagram or wherever, anywhere. So that's something I wanted to start doing. I think it'd be really fun. I wanted to do it just before we make the podcast go live, which is usually 6 p.m. Pacific. And that's kind of my thought behind it too. Dan?
I'm also monetized on YouTube, so I'm going to start doing lives at 3:55 p.m. Pacific time. So no, I'm not.
You gotta choose which daddy you love most.
Go watch Mike. I ain't going to do that. That's all I got.
So yeah, anyways, get your stickers with sticker code pTree. It's PTREE. And well, I will do a shout out for Dan because Dan, you didn't really talk about it. This whole saga of the walnut desk culminated in you actually making a slideshow video, and it's on YouTube that you posted about 3 weeks ago. You didn't really mention the video a lot, so you guys should go check it out.
Oh yeah,
it shows the whole build from start to finish.
Well,
a lot of Menards walks.
I just put together all the little clips
Stories
and footage
and
that I
clips.
posted
That's
on
cool,
Instagram
though.
and
I enjoyed
stuff
it.
and put it on YouTube. It's
So
something.
check that out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Make sure to leave us a review, share with your friends. That's the best way you can help us grow the show. And check us out on Patreon for a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff. And only 5-star reviews. I don't know what this business is with this one person leaving a 1-star review. Whatever. They clearly don't. They think we're number one. Number one podcast in America. I do 1-star review. Number one. So make sure to leave a 5-star review and share.
US and A.
And I'm gonna finish by saying, I love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Love you long time.
Long time.
Kill it.